I'm just going to import a vocal and edit it for a little bit and show you guys how I edit vocals. So let's see what we have. We have a vocal called vocal. Let's add some Autotune.
I'm watching the world fall down now, floating in time.
And this is basically my Autotune setup is retune speed on 20, humanize on 30. And I always have it in classic mode because I believe is Autotune 5, and it just has a different sound. It just sounds like Autotune. It has that signature sound. Let's use an 1176 in this case to just cut off a little bit of the faster transients. This one.
Hey, I'm watching the world fall down now, floating in time.
Just a little.
Yeah, we're doing just fine. And
Okay, so it would be pre-compression and then multi-band compression, which would be the Pro MB. And this is just the default that I set up. High mids, always very painful, so I like those compressed a little bit more. Low mids, boxiness, and then if for some reason we have something down there below 100, then I want it to be compressed really, really hard. So let's see.
hey, I'm watching the world fall down now, floating in time. Yeah, we're doing just fine.
Okay. So now we'll get into my favorite feature of Cubase, which is pitch correct, which is basically you just double click on any sausage, and I call those sausages, probably because I'm German. You just click on any sausage, double click on any sausage, engage edit vary audio, and you can correct any wrong notes, any notes that you want to be different. You can change melodies, you can flatten out vibratos. So let's see what's going on here. So this is already a little bit too fast here. So we'll kind of just pull it back a little bit here. And then this one has to be right here. If we want to be EDM. Okay, then we can flatten this a little bit. I pretty much just go by grid first. And sometimes it's nice when things are a little bit too fast, a little bit too slow. There's like a groove to it. I like to put things on grid because then they lock with the whole song and everything is just tight and neat. And if for some reason it's still not nice, then I can manually just shift it back. Autotune does a lot of the work right now, but we can still put it on the actual notes to make it a little bit easier for Autotune. And especially when you have programmed instruments that are very much on grid, then all the little things like S's and all the consonants that are a little bit too early, they kind of just jump out and the compressor just pulls them in, and then it sounds like a flam with a snare or a snap, and that's just not nice. So I like to take care of that before I go further. So we'll take this little thing, just cut it out, duplicate the track, put it on the new track, consolidate it. So now it's its own sausage, brand new sausage. Need some mustard. So let's change the tempo of it. Musical mode on. So now it will just adapt to the tempo. And we had 105. So it's gonna be like a dance vocal loop. Let's see if it works with the song.
I'm watching the world fall down now, floating in time. Yeah, we're doing just fine.
Almost.
I'm watching the world fall down now.
So maybe we'll change this note here. So we have to open it back up. And see.
I'm watching the world fall down now. Down now, floating in time. Yeah, we're doing just fine.
little bit of reverb. And now it's a bit weird because we time stretched it and pitched it, so it has a lot of artifacts, so maybe we'll just add some more artifacts to it to make it even weirder. Let's see, little altar boy. It's always a good plugin to just see what can be done. Like to see what 6.9 sounds like and then we go from there. Okay, and now we can see there's probably a bunch of frequencies that we don't need anymore because we pitched it. Let's see, low cut. This kind of sticks out a little bit. This one could be a little aggressive sometimes. For me, with vocals, the idea is always to keep the vocal in the same place. And a vocal should sound dynamic, but it should never actually move and be too loud here and too quiet there. So it should appear as that, but I like to compress it as much as possible in different areas. With different stages, so it just sits tightly in the center and nothing else moves. And what I usually like to do is to create a little bit more space, or to carve out a little bit more space, is first of all, which is something I didn't do, is we'll take all the instruments and send the instruments into the instrument group. Boom. So all the instruments are on this one. And we can mute it. Then we'll take the bass, send the bass to the bass group, because it has a slightly harder sidechain in case we'll need it. Let's see, so we got the bass. So it's just bass, and then we have the vocals in the vocal group. Dividing everything, making it nice. Which is here. Very, very, very light sidechain in case the kicks hit, or the kick hits, it will just be ducked just by a little bit, just to create more space for the kick. Okay, so now we go to the instrument group and put track spacer. Yeah, put track spacer on the instruments, and what's gonna happen is whenever the vocal comes in, all the instruments will go down in volume within a certain frequency range. So let's see. We're gonna take the input, which is our vocal, this guy. And now we can see what it will do. So all frequencies, vocal in, suppresses everything. So we don't need everything to go away and not as harsh. So only between, let's say, somewhere here, just the mids basically, between 5K and something around 200 maybe. So what this does is the vocal will always be clean in the center. So whenever we have a synth or a guitar that is that has a lot of highs, those highs, if you open this up fully, they will be suppressed and the vocal will still be super clean in the center. You can use multiband compression and just activate different bands. I like track spacer for this purpose because it's just so easy. You have this big knob percentage and the EQ, and that's pretty much all you need. You can do ratio, attack and release ratios, but I like to start with the default and just see if that works. And if it works, we're good. And if not, then we'll try to figure out how to change it. I mean, there are obviously so many features in Cubase that I'm just not even aware of, or I only tried out and forgot how to use, because there's so much.